one can see
All right.
how serious, quiet it is for pre-show production meetings.
Oh, man.
Welcome to the basement, everybody. It's about ready to get started. Look at this guy. Dude, it's like SATs over here. What's going on?
Room. We're in the war room.
Seriously, come on,
March
man.
Madness, baby.
No one actually takes their own test to get into college anymore. You get Aunt Becky to take care of it for you.
Right.
All right, here we go, guys. Let's get started.
Becky.
Oh, what we got here?
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. March Madness Tuesday night. March Madness starts Thursday. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, welcoming you to
The Hot Box.
He's Kevin McClinton.
It's a great time of year, man. I'm excited. This is fun.
Darren McClinton.
Hey, this song always sends chills up my spine.
Did you come out to this at all?
No, I didn't come out to this,
Okay.
but we had some Duke JMU Duke Dog songs,
Yep.
and some fight songs that really got my juices flowing. But this right here,
Well,
time of year, baby.
bringing back Kevin Ricker, who's been on the mics all night long down here in the basement on Tuesday.
And now,
Yeah, that was his
your
job.
hot box. Man, I'm so excited to be down here talking hoops this time of year with you guys. Really looking forward to it. We've done this once or twice before.
Yeah, we
Just
have.
there was no microphones.
Right.
There's a bunch of TVs and a bunch of opinions flying around.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. Let's have at it
Fun.
again,
Let's do
fellas.
it, man.
Happy
Let's
to
do
be
it.
here.
I believe
do it.
this would be our second bracket show, second in a row, especially. We're gonna do hardwood the only way hardwood gets done before March Madness gets started, and that is brackets. We're gonna bracketologize. We got the whiteboard in front of us. We're not just gonna go one by one, tell you who wins. We're gonna attack our regions. Each got 4 people here, 4 regions. Each guy is responsible for his region and potentially for the winner who will emerge from his region. What chances he has in the Final Four. Random order was decided before the show. And I'm sorry to let Kevin Ricker know.
I kind of felt that this was coming.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so, Kevin, you have the
So you're going to have to ask me the questions.
South region.
I got the South.
South region. I'm going to throw you up here on the board right away.
All right.
Who is the best coach in your region?
There's a lot of guys to choose from. I know everyone's gonna be able to say that this whole time. You know,
That's okay.
yeah, that's not too demonstrative. Look, Tony Bennett, I adore everything he does. I follow him around, everything. But listen, Jay Wright is the guy. 2 of the last 3 rings. Man, he just seems like a smooth guy. I'd want to hang out with him a little bit. I'd let my son go play for him. And he's got 2 rings in 3 years and brought this team back after they lost to everyone. I'm a Jay Wright guy.
Jay Wright. Darren asked me how my handwriting was. It's not great.
It's not bad, man. All right.
It's not
It's not
great.
bad.
It's not great.
You know what I mean? You kind of backing, you turning, so you got to go against your body
It's
a little
true.
bit.
It's
So
true.
you
We'll take a
doing
picture
all
of
right,
this
man.
board and we will post it. Are we already getting
I'm
some
going to go
feedback?
ahead and say when I'm done with the South region, I'll take over all handwriting responsibilities. We have a brand to uphold, gentlemen.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And,
You're right. You're
looks
right.
like Ed's been drinking a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say.
Oh, yeah. The lines. It's
No.
coming in. The
No, no.
longitude,
That's
the
all right,
latitude,
man.
the
It's
X's and O's.
impossible.
All right,
It's impossible. Handwriting's impossible on
Legible.
a whiteboard.
Legible.
Jay Wright.
He's a stud, man.
He might not even be the most handsome guy in this tournament, but he is in the bracket to win it.
I'll leave you to decide that. I'm just here to talk about
Thank
the
you.
coaches. guys.
Thank you.
Yes.
Shout out to my brother Joe, who's watching, who probably has some thoughts on that matter and probably will want to give me a piece of his mind later.
His pride right now is shining through.
All right, who's the best player in the South region?
Oh, man. You know I'm an ACC guy, and what people fail to realize in that Virginia upset last year, DeAndre Hunter was injured, did not play in the game. Now, he was coming off the bench as a freshman, but he's their pro. I think he's a top 5 pick in the draft.
Wow.
He's a bad man. I've watched him produce at the highest level, and he plays amazing D. Huge fan of DeAndre Hunter and his game.
He was ACC Defensive Player of the Year, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's a fact. He's a bad dude, man. He's physical. He's clutch.
Yeah.
He's got all the attributes. His mid-range game is sick, and he's gotten so much better down there. He's still got room to improve. He hasn't hit a ceiling. He's a sophomore, man.
Yeah. My guy Sean Colson up in Philly, is his main trainer. He's been talking about him and ranting and raving about him for a long time. So I've seen the progression since he was coming out of high school. That kid is the goods.
Yeah, and he stands out on that team as well.
Yes,
but he does it so smooth and effortlessly. What a great teammate.
I'm going to give you right away to the biggest upset you have, no matter where it is. If it's first round, second round,
Sure.
third, whatever it is.
Yeah. I've noticed Vegas is all over Oregon, fellas. I know we've all seen how hot they are, but apparently Darren has noticed that as well. It's the main play, and that starts to scare me a little bit. So I got off that. I got away from it. Kansas State and UC Irvine. UC Irvine's got a couple guys that fill it up, man. Colin Welp and Max Hazard, they get after it.
Okay.
Kansas State, it's a Bruce Weber coach team. He does a great job.
Yeah.
But listen, their guy Dean Wade is a huge factor. And I noticed when they announced the Final Four, they had the picture on their squad. Dean Wade was texting in a boot, and that never looks good 5 days before a tournament game. Whether he's back or not, what level he's at, I think that dictates all of it. It didn't look great from my point of view. So I'm taking a peek at those guys
The
making
13
the upset.
UC Irvine team
UC
over
Irvine.
4 Kansas State.
You got it. That's my call there.
13 V4. We'll call that UC Irvine. All right, so we're gonna skip to the end. Choose your own adventure. We're gonna keep our finger on the place in case we don't get the outcome we like. But who's our regional champion in the South?
UVA. It's a whole new year. I sat down here last year in this exact chair next to Junior Burroughs. I was echoing his praises being sung, shocked about what happened. But I promise you this, the only people that shouldn't be as excited about March Madness as every kid living out their dream is those guys over at Gardner Webb. I think they're in for one. I think it's coming, and I think it's going to be those guys are feeling it. Those kids down at UVA got a lot of pride. Ty Jerome is not coming out there to deal with no mess.
They're not going back-to-back
DeAndre
losses
Hunter.
to 16.
This is DeAndre Hunter never got a chance to show or help.
I know.
His brother's out. This is you don't want to be Gardner Webb.
I
Don't
agree
fall
with you,
for it.
Rick. I agree with you.
I'm not a believer in Virginia, but I don't think they're going to lose to Gardner Webb. Let's do some quick hitters around the region, guys, before we go to our second region, which will go to Darren. Quick hitters. Hey, Juice, South region. Who's your favorite?
In the South?
Yeah,
I mean, UVA.
Darren.
That's-
You want to deviate from UVA?
No, I've got
Really?
UVA coming out of that.
Okay. All right. Well, since I said it, I'm giving it to Tennessee. So I'm out on UVA, and I'm not just gonna say out on UVA. I'll give you that I think it's gonna be Tennessee.
Okay.
All right, Darren. You wanted it, and you got it. And we'll come back. So right now out of the South, we're giving it to UVA. They're in the Final Four
Rick,
of this
can
show.
you pass me my beverage, please?
I'd love
Froghorn
to. No, we're really
Leghorn.
getting back to old
Thank you,
school.
sir.
You got it, my man.
East region, first starters. Who's the
No,
best?
I have the West. Juice has the East.
Oh, sorry. Let's go.
You want to go to me?
No, let's still stay with you on the
Okay.
West. Who is the best coach in the West?
This was a tough one. Because Mark Few out of Gonzaga, I love him and what he does out in Gonzaga. And we have some pedigree in this region with we've got a pro in Chris Mullen at St.
Yes, we do.
John's. We have two former Duke point guards in Bobby Hurley and Wojo.
Wojo, who cannot win anything on this show, if we're being honest with each other. Sorry, Kevin.
And
Who was that?
And Michigan has a mastermind on the sideline, but I'm going with Leonard Hamilton in Florida State. What he does year in and year out.
Leonard, right?
Yes. What he does year in and year out with that Florida State Seminoles team in a loaded conference, the best conference in the country. I was going back and forth this year about the Big Ten and ACC as far as the best conference, and the proof came out in the pudding. And Leonard Hamilton does an impeccable job on that sideline for the Seminoles.
All right.
So I'm going.
You know
with
what?
Former
I'm
Wizards
looking at,
coach.
if you look at it, I'm looking at that West.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 legitimate coaches in that West, man.
Yes.
know.
Yes.
Like to pick Leonard Hamilton, and you have Jim Boeheim, you have Mark Few,
Yes.
and Bayline, and
Beeline. Yeah.
Beeline. Excuse
yeah.
me, Beeline.
I say it wrong every time.
I say Bayline, Beeline.
I do too.
Beeline. I mean, that's some good company, man.
It is.
That's some good company, and for Hamilton to be
That's
chosen
stacked.
out of those 4 is it's a huge accomplishment. But
Look, you gotta think about it this way. Every year, all season long, he's in chess matches with the best coaches in the country. You know, the
The top 3.
right coaches in
Right.
the country. So, you know, he's getting his practice. So
Yep.
he's ready now. He's ready, and I just love the job that he does, regardless of the roster. I looked at their at Florida State stats, and they've got 8 guys averaging between 6.5 points and 12.5.
Yeah, I'm
points,
guessing
you
your
know?
best player's not going to be on Leo's squad.
No, they're balanced. Best players: Ja Morant, phenom point guard out of Murray State. He's incredible.
he's incredible.
Athletic, wiry, very underrated defender.
Averages 10 assists. man.
Averages 10, leads the nation in assists. Averages 24.5 points a game. He steps up every time he's on national TV, putting Murray State on the map. He basically won the conference tournament by himself. When they need him, he produces. He's the pro. He's the lottery pick. Many people have him as high as number 2.
Now, am I writing this as John or Ja?
J.A.
Yeah, just Ja.
Okay, yeah.
I love him.
J.A.M.O.R.A.N.T. Let's get it right, Mr. Ja Morant.
He will dunk right on your
special.
forehead.
Yes, he will.
He's special.
Right in your face.
That dude is special, man.
Do I
He's
smell
special.
an upset coming for you in the 5-12 game?
He is special.
Yeah, in my butter popcorn game for sure.
That's 12-5. That's your 12-5.
12-5. 12. You know the 12 seed team has a record of, against the number 5, has a record of 16-24. 16 wins, 24 losses. In the last, what is that? 40 games?
It's shocking. I mean, that's what you're getting. So you're getting your 5
that's the
seed's going to
last
be
10 years.
an at-large bid, right? Your 5 seed's going to be an at-large bid coming in from a Power 5, and your
Right.
12 seed's going to be, someone scraping, but probably someone hot from a mid-major or
Yeah,
someone
with guys
or
that
lower.
have played together for years and
Yeah.
developed.
4-year guys. That's
Seniors.
the thing about the mid-majors throughout this tournament.
They will whip
have
your
seniors.
ass. Those guys will whip your
Upperclassmen.
ass. They can't
Yeah.
wait to.
But did we talk about that last week, right? We talked about
Absolutely.
that's where when it comes to the modern March Madness, yeah, it's top heavy with the one and doners and the phenom, 18, 19-year-old kids. But the mid majors, they come at you every March with guys who've played together for 4 years, like you said, Kev. Seniors. They come at you with seniors.
They shouldn't be called mid majors anymore. That should,
That's
it's
true.
not- but they're just there, and these guys. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
I want to make a note about that very topic.
Okay.
The number 6 seed Buffalo Bulls, they share with Houston the best record in the country, at 31-3.
31-3. Yep.
They start 3 seniors in Nick Perkins, Jeremy Harris, and C.J. Massenberg. C.J. Massenberg leads them in scoring at 18.5 points a game, but it's squads like that are senior laden that, like you said, have been playing together. Last year, they knocked off in the first round. They knocked off Arizona with number 1 pick DeAndre Ayton. So they've been there.
Yep.
The lights aren't too bright for these guys. They have that continuity, and
They're a higher seed. I mean, they're gonna get
they're
it.
number 6 seed.
They're gonna
And
get a-
rightfully so.
That's right.
Rightfully so.
That's what I'm talking about.
They've got road wins against Syracuse. I don't even know if you want to call Syracuse a road win because that's right down the street, but
That's a huge one, though.
it's a huge
Yes.
win. And they went and beat West Virginia on the road. So it's not like they can't play giant killer, but I don't see these guys as giants against Buffalo. Buffalo's been playing damn good basketball. You know, they play fast. They
Yep.
average 14 seconds per possession.
Can they beat Michigan?
I don't have
14
them beat.
seconds is crazy.
It's crazy. That's crazy. That's fast. That is fast.
Yeah.
They're loose with the basketball because they average
play
their
so-
percentage of turnover rate is 15.5%
Yeah.
for turnovers. But they're playing so fast. If you're not used to that and you don't scout that in that 48 hours that you
Yeah.
get before you're playing them, they can run right past you, right
Yep.
over you. I don't have them getting past Michigan, but I have them getting to
There
Michigan.
you go. I mean, that's the thing. They're a squad that can do it.
Yes, they are.
I think the other note to make about the bracket that I think is cool for a sports fan is, I mean, you see like Houston's and Wofford's and Buffalo's with awesome numbers on them, and you look at them and you're like, I think the average fan who probably didn't watch a ton of basketball probably knew when Duke played North Carolina, knew when Kentucky was on or Kansas was playing, or Tennessee for that matter got a lot of airtime. The top heaviness is different in this draft. There are heavyweights.
Turn that up a little bit, Ken.
Oh, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little Curtis Blow.
Absolutely. Go
Absolutely.
ahead. Not to interrupt you. But
No,
go ahead.
there's heavyweights for sure in this tournament, but there's teams that are coming into this tournament that are hot.
Yeah.
That are legitimate seeds, like 3, 4, and 5 seeds, maybe even 6 and 7 seeds that are coming in with, and if they win, it's just not going to be surprising.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
A little foreshadowing to mine. Who's your regional champ?
Florida State Seminoles.
What? The coaching gets it done. The fourth seed.
Fourth seed. I don't think they should have been a 4 seed. I think they should have been a 3rd seed, a 3 seed. Michigan, I'll give Michigan the number 2 seed for that body of work. But Florida
We're going all ACC already. I mean, that's ridiculous.
No, it's not.
I'm just saying. No, I know it. No, but it's. I mean, we're not. We
gonna
haven't.
get there.
We
in
haven't
the
even
round-
gotten to the
I
others.
know.
I have them in the round of 32. I have Buffalo 6 seed knocking off Texas Tech, the 3rd seed.
That was my one bracket where I
That's
was
not your
hoping
upset,
for a
though.
non-ACC
That's not your
team.
upset. That's not your upset.
No, I
is it?
have them
State.
knocking it
You
off.
have Murray State. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Juice, you want to go or you want me to go? I'll
go.
defer.
I'll go.
All right, so I'm going to
I'll
put
go.
you down for the
I have the
East.
East.
I have the East.
Hold on, you guys. Doesn't everyone have to pick it there? I have us written down here. We got to track this. We all had to pick the South. We had to pick our winner.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Does anyone?
I want to keep track of this.
Yeah, I'm
This
going
is bragging
Gonzaga.
rights.
Give me Gonzaga.
Ken has Gonzaga. I'm going to go ahead and say my pick, if you don't mind. I'm going to
I don't
take
wanna go
John
4
Beeline
number ones,
and Michigan because
Michigan?
he just seems to get there every time. And big old Iggy Brazdakis has got some weird game. After he blew kisses, that's when they lost. But still, he's a perfect guy for that. It's perfect for that system. He's that Beeline guy. What was the big tall guy from West Virginia, 7-footer that knocked down every J? I mean, that's the role he's in, and he's got the green light.
I'm going to be
He
sore
feels
from
it.
all
He
this
blew
writing.
kisses. All right.
Who you got
I
coming
got
out,
Michigan.
Kevin?
I got Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
I hate saying it because
Because
because I have a feeling there's going to be 4 number ones, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna say Gonzaga, but I'm not too.
They're nasty, man.
They're nasty.
Yeah,
nasty.
yeah,
Yeah.
they are, man. I just don't want to pick 4 number ones. 'Cause
I know, but
you
this
know
is
what
the
I mean?
kind
I
of
just
tournament
don't-
a Gonzaga
Right,
can
it's
win.
very- right,
Here's
it is.
the thing about Gonzaga that impresses me. You know, they've got that inside-out combination down low with Brandon Clark and how do you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Rui
Right, right.
Hachimura.
Hachimura.
Rui.
But-
You nailed it.
But they have a senior point guard. What's his name? Josh Perkins. He's a 4-year starter. That's important.
Yep.
He's a 4-year starter running the helm, and that goes a long way when it comes to March Madness.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't get rattled. Been there, running the show and has been running the show. You know, and these are the days where, you know, you've got guys that are 1 and done,
Right,
2 and
right.
done, and he's seasoned and he's a vet, and that's rare.
Right.
And especially to have that at your point guard position. But I got them getting knocked off.
What?
Yeah. I got Gonzaga getting knocked off in the Sweet 16.
All right.
As we've been
All right.
doing this,
All
I looked up Belmont.
Belmont's
just beat,
in.
Yeah, they just
Punch
beat
ticket.
Temple, so they'll be facing Maryland.
Correct. And they scored what, close to 80 points. I mean,
That's
Maryland's
a nice segue to come over to me in this East.
All right, so who's the best coach in the East?
Gosh, man. I mean, you have 2 Hall of Famers in the East, man, and and Coach K and
Not Shaka.
Izzo. But I'm gonna go Coach K. I mean, it's proven. I don't really think there's too much of a doubt in regards to.
Don't clap that.
being
Do
the
not
best.
clap that.
Yeah, I mean,
We agree on a lot. I'm not going to say anything else.
you are a
Clap.
Maryland
yeah,
Terp.
but I mean that's facts.
You
That's
are a
facts.
Maryland Terp.
Right.
That's why I applaud
It's
it.
got to burn you up.
I mean, reality is what it is, man. He's the
It's
best
gotta
coach.
burn
he's got how
you
many
up.
how many chips does he
You
have?
could have gone Izzo there. I mean, you could have gone
Yes,
Izzo.
Over
you
Coach
could,
K?
You
Yeah.
could have and should have.
Why would I go? Why would I
I
go?
understand.
Thomas
How would
over
you guys
Coach K?
justify that with
A
that?
Terp does
I
not
understand.
give credit to a Dookie.
It's like the Riggins rule.
You don't do
To me,
that.
it's a Riggins rule.
But you got to do it if it's true.
Was your biggest rival Duke or Virginia when you
Goodness
played?
gracious.
I mean, the biggest rival was probably UVA, but
Goodness
Duke was the team that
That
you know,
game.
they were
that you
yeah.
hate. What's the third? How's the 30 for 30? We hate Christian
Christian
Laettner.
Laettner, yeah.
And that's
Duke
your
fans
era.
hate Christian Laettner,
But if you
they
pick,
love him.
okay,
Unbelievable,
hold on,
man.
hold on. But if you pick,
Unbelievable,
if I
man.
pick Duke, Carolina, or Virginia to win it, I mean that's just reality of the situation. Coach K, how many chips does he have?
5.
5.
Okay, but
How
if
many
it's
does Izzo have?
if it's 6 one way,
Big-
half
the-
a dozen
the Big
another,
Ten only
you
has
go
one in the
with
last 30
you
years.
go
Right.
away from Duke.
Why is that?
If I'm a Maryland Terp, that's what I do.
Why is that?
Hey,
I'm just asking.
I'm a Duke fan and,
and
a
you
Maryland
just
fan.
watched the Belmont coach just
Maybe you need to
just
be more open-minded, Derek.
game playing Temple.
I mean, shoot. I mean, it is what it is. The dude is a great coach. I got to give him his due. He's.
Listen,
All right,
I'm,
well-
I'm happy for Jeff Jones
saying
and,
love him
and
or
Old
hate him.
Dominion.
I respect that.
But me as a James Madison Duke, I hate Old Dominion.
Okay.
So
and that's how you lose your bread. You can hate as much as you want to, but at the end of the day,
You're right.
that's save money.
You're
you
right.
lose your bread.
you're
So,
right.
Hey, that's just me. So I got Coach K.
Who's the best player? I mean, is it that easy?
I mean, I think this is Zion Williamson is the best player in the region.
It's pretty easy.
Another Duke.
I mean, what he's done. You know, it's
No,
funny.
that's it.
No, seriously, Darren, it's
No.
funny you say that because I was looking at something the other day, and you know, Duke has always had a tradition of players that you just don't like,
Right.
for whatever reason, whether or not it's their greatness, whether or not it's their arrogance, whatever it is. But
We love
Zi-
Grant, though. We love
we
Grant.
love Grant. We love Grant.
That's
We
fam.
love Grant. But but there's something about Zion Williamson that makes it very tough not to like him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it really does. I mean, even really all those kids, they really make it tough not to like them because I don't know if it's just because they're freshmen and they're playing together. I don't know if it's just kind of the way they handle themselves, the way they carry themselves, but it's difficult to not like these kids.
How did
You know
anyone
what I
ever
mean?
not
Like
project him as number one? When did that become? When did someone say he's not going to be the number one?
In high
pick?
school, he was third behind Cam Reddish and R.J. Barrett.
Yeah,
Those two went back and
Right.
forth,
Yeah,
and they talked about battling.
And
no,
he signed
No one
late.
wanted to
Guess
believe
what?
Zion.
He signed late with Duke.
Did he double reclassify?
I don't know.
Did he double
I don't know.
reclassify?
Hey, look,
There-
Double
he
he's
might
going to
have-
be
he
president
might
of
have been double
something. It might
reclass.
not be basketball, but it could be. He's
Yeah.
going to be president of something.
He's-
he
he's
just
the- I mean-
exudes
Yes.
likability.
He's
It's
very
unbelievable.
marketable.
But the thing
very-
about
But
him,
it's
man, that I
genuine.
think that really pulls people to him is the fact he plays hard, man.
He does. You know
he
what else,
goes after
too?
he goes after he goes after loose balls. He plays with a certain edge, and I don't know if it
Absolutely.
is. I don't know if it's and and a lot of times it could be almost like a friendly competition between he and his teammates. You know what I mean? Because they have the 1, 2, and 3 best players in the country as far as coming out of high school, and it's almost like they're friends, but then there might be that little competition there.
But
You know what
Zion
I mean?
did reclassify after RJ reclassified. I believe RJ reclassified first.
Okay.
Well,
No.
RJ's from Canada, and they have a
a whole different
13-year school system. So they
They
automatically
like
reclassify.
triple
automatically
reclassified,
reclass.
and like the exchange on the reclassifications is
Yeah.
like you don't even get 1 for 1 anymore.
Yeah, so he was in the 13th grade.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Juice, you know what though, and to piggyback on what you're saying, Duke players, not many of them talk trash. You know what I mean? They're not taunting their opponents. They're just better than them a
they're
lot
just
of times.
better.
You
And
know,
they-
and
I mean,
they just do what they do, and
yeah.
they
Follow the leader. They've
It's-
embraced him as the leader. And
it's-
he's the most positive guy.
It scares
He
me.
believes in
the
his
one
guys,
thing that
man.
scares me about Duke,
Zion Williams. I haven't seen him
Is-
talk trash not one time.
they don't shoot the ball very well from the outside,
Mm-hmm.
but they haven't shot it well from the outside all year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's really an issue. It's one game, man.
Can
you
I
know
say
what
something to you
It's
real
one
quick?
game.
Sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to tell you, I love that you said that. I saw today, Duke shoots 30.2% from three.
Right.
No team has ever made the Final Four with those numbers.
Right.
Ever in the history
And
of
that
the game.
scares me.
Yeah, it should.
That
Yeah, it
scares
should
me.
scare you.
That really
It scares the
me.
hell out of me, too.
Because there might be a game. I mean, they might go against a team that slows it down or what have you, and then they have to be able to make shots.
guess what?
And then they get sped up. But it's been that way all year long,
I was
and they found a
listening-
way to win those games all year long.
Juice,
So,
I was listening to the post game after Duke beat Florida State in the ACC championship. Leonard Hamilton, my coach of the region,
right.
said Zion Williams is a top 5 athlete he's ever seen on the basketball court.
And he coached
said,
the
"I've
Wizards."
Seen a lot of players
That guy
Ever
coached the
seen-
Washington
Yes, he did.
Wizards.
on the basketball court.
Right.
So throw a zone, throw a junk defense, try to make them beat you from deep. I don't think there's
But
any
and you know what's funny?
denying.
And you know what's funny about
And I
Duke
told you
also?
this at the beginning of the year.
I want your upset.
You
Juice.
guys have given me
But
undefeated
you know what's
2 years
funny
in a row.
about Duke? Though, let me tell you what's funny about Duke
Yes,
is they
I
don't
did.
run any plays for Zion.
No, they don't.
They don't
need
run
to.
any plays for him.
Don't
And
need
for him to average 20 or whatever he averages, and they
Yeah,
don't run
their
plays
whole-
for him,
They're
just
just
shows you how hard he plays.
It's called
how hard
pass
he
to
works,
Zion.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, that he's
Zion,
incredible.
steal the ball and
He's
go dunk it.
incredible.
That's a play.
It's
But
Zion.
he's
Zion will
he's
figure
my
it out.
What's
yeah
his
he's
biggest
my
upset?
best
Who's your biggest
player.
upset? I think there's one that jumps off the page here personally.
One that
but
jump is Liberty, Mississippi State.
if you got to feel strong about a 12.
I don't.
5.
I'm Mississippi State. The best team they beat in the SEC was Auburn. You know what I mean? And I'm just Liberty's 28-6. They won their conference. They have a lot of upperclassmen on their team, and those are the type of teams that scare the hell out of you, man, because this is their last hurrah. A lot of those guys in Liberty aren't going to go to the NBA. You know what I mean? So it's their chance to be able to show the world what kind of team they have. And I think when you play like this is just a prime for an upset. You know what I mean? Mississippi State had a good year. They're 10-8 in the SEC. Not bad. SEC was a good conference this year. LSU was
Yeah, they
good. Tennessee was good. But Kentucky was good. But I just think that game right there it reeks of 5-12. It reeks of just that upset that you worry about, man. So
I'm glad
I
you
got
called
Liberty.
that one, Juice. You
Yeah.
know why?
Why? What you think I
A
was gonna
lot
say?
of people are saying Maryland is going to lose first round. I
was
just
thinking that,
watched-
but I didn't want to say it.
Listen. I just watched Belmont. Belmont's a very skilled team. They run their stuff. They shoot the ball very well from the outside. They're a little light in the hind parts underneath that basket.
Talking about Dwight Howard. What's going on here?
You got some inside scoop?
Yeah, what's going on?
Listen,
He disappeared.
Yeah, he has.
if Bruno, they got a lot of sticks out there. They don't have any Brunos down there, right? And they also can be pressured. I think if Maryland pushes that tempo,
If.
plays inside, outside,
If.
They could beat
gets the ball
LSU.
in- gets the ball down low to Bruno and let him, use his muscle down there. And if Ant Cowan and Ayala control the tempo outside, I'm not worried about that
Okay.
Belmont game. I'm not.
All right.
The thing
A
about
lot of
it-
people
the thing
are,
about
though.
real quick. I'm gonna touch on this and then I'll give you my regional champ. The thing about Maryland that I worry about is that was a demoralizing loss against Nebraska, and you have a young team. What's the mindset going in? Obviously, it's the NCAA tournament. Coach Turgeon's going to have to find a way to coach them up and get them ready to play, try to overcome that loss. But what's your mindset as these freshmen who have never played in an NCAA tournament? What's your mindset? Do you start panicking when you miss your first couple shots? Do you start thinking about that Nebraska game? Does that concern you? If you're Coach Turgeon, when do you start thinking about, okay, I need to change what we're doing if the first 5-10 minutes aren't going the way you want them to go? And that's how you can set yourself up for a possible upset, because you get away from what you're doing. You don't stay with what you're doing, and that concerns me. But with that being said, I think Maryland will find a way to get past that game, get past Belmont, and then we'll see. When they play LSU, hopefully in the second round, what happens. My region champ is obviously. I mean,
let me just write it
you
down.
You want to just write it? Do I need to say it? All right, there you go.
I don't have to say mine either.
We don't really need to.
Juice, does it hurt you to?
Yeah, I'll say
does
Duke.
it pain you to praise
Put me down
Duke
for Duke.
like this?
Does it
Are you-
pain me?
Yes.
No, because again, like I said, it's not a team to hate, man. It's just
Okay.
it's not. This is a different Duke dynamic. There's a dynamic about this Duke team that is a little different than the ones in the past. I played against some really good Duke teams. Leitner, Hurley, Grant, Thomas Hill, all those guys.
Is it because the Duke teams of late, their superstars are kind of one and done guys?
Could be.
So they're on campus for maybe 6 months and then they're gone.
I think I think you root for these kids, man. I really do. I think you root for them. I think that with them being, and they show a lot. They're very, very they're very close, man. And I think they're young kids, man. You know what I mean? So I think with that, the one and done, I think you really root for them. You don't have a lot of time to not like them. You know what I mean? I think you just root for them. And I think with Zion, man, I think he's just kind of taken the country by storm with not only his athletic ability, but, I hear him after these games and he's talking, and he's very humble, man.
Yeah.
He's humble, you know what I mean? And I think that has a tendency to attract people when he's smiling all the time and he's showing his personality on the court. He's up there he's rooting for his players. He's out for 5 or 6 games, and he's right there rooting for his players, his team. Guys are telling him he doesn't need to be playing. He needs to go to the NBA. And he said, I got to be there for my guys.
Yeah.
So I think
My
you have
brothers.
to, I think you have to be able to be, I think that really kind of, that attracts you to this team and to Zion. And, obviously he's the leader of that team. So I think you root for those
It's
kids.
definitely a different. The tide has turned with Duke guys because they're not staying long. They're you remember the Alleries to the
the
Ferries
first
to
recruiting
the
class.
Leitners,
Johnny Dawkins, Mark
Johnny
Allery,
Dawkins,
Jay
these
Billis,
guys,
David Henderson. That was the
Tommy
best.
Amaker. These
That was
guys
the best year.
3-4
they
years,
stayed,
man. They stayed.
and
It sucks now, man.
you know what I mean. So it started with Corey Maggette, I think was one of the first ones I can
That was
remember
like a
that
weird
left
thing.
after his freshman year.
Right.
That was the
But
guy
guys
from
were
Chicago.
staying. I don't know how
Yeah.
long Elton Brand stayed. Would he stay 3?
2.
2?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Trajan Langdon and those guys. But
Trajan was there for 5.
you know what I mean? So,
Right.
it's definitely new
New territory.
yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna get out of your
I got
hair, but you
Duke.
guys know I'm a Duke guy. This Zion guy has been by far and away. I've been a diehard fan my whole life. My dad went there, so I don't really
Right.
don't at me.
Sure.
I have no trouble with this, but he's been such a special human being. Like everything about him, it's just unbelievable. When he was out for 6 games, they went 3-3. I didn't care about the record. I didn't get to see him play for 6 other games that I'll never get back again.
Yeah.
Because he's that special. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
And real
ticket
quick,
prices out the roof.
and I also want to say, watching Maryland and talking about their state of mind when they did their selection show and everyone, they had the camera on the team. The one thing I noticed, I'm out for the St. John's guy, your guy.
Sitting down.
Everyone else went nuts, right?
I saw
He
that.
sat there. He was smiling. He gave a little golf clap.
Right.
And he didn't try to do anything out of the ordinary to be like the other way. He was so calm and smooth. He's been
I
thinking
saw
about
that
this
too.
his whole life.
I saw that
Yep.
too.
He wasn't celebrating. He's supposed to be here. in
Nah, it's
his head.
business. It's business.
I looked right at it. I was like, it gave me that feeling like he's a dog, man. I love him.
Yeah.
I love him. That stood out. I'm glad you saw that, Juice.
Yeah, I saw it. That's the first thing I understood to me. I saw
All right, let's round it out in the Midwest. Best coach in the Midwest. There's one that stands out that I think is the winner. I wanted to give an honorable mention.
Wait,
to
hold
Ron-
on, time out,
do you
man.
got?
Did we?
Yeah.
Did y'all say? Who's
Everybody's
okay,
says
I just
Duke.
wanna
Everyone
make
You
sure,
said
man.
it? All right,
Everybody
yeah,
I mean,
says
ain't
heard
nobody.
that.
I didn't, ain't
That's
nobody
all
say
Duke.
nothing, man. I
That's-
just wanted to make sure, man.
I
Y'all
didn't
gotta
notice
get
that you
into
had
my
or not
Duke.
after all the
Chalkiest chalk of all time.
After all the jargon.
All right, go ahead.
Not
Go
a
ahead.
not a Kelvin Sampson guy. I'm not going to go Kentucky, machine at this point in time. I love Ron Hunter. He's a story. He's a March Madness guy because Georgia State keeps getting in. He had his son RJ there a couple years ago. He was there again last year. He was the guy with the one knee up on the Wheeler guy on the sidelines, wheeling up and down the sidelines. And so Ron Hunter has been a mainstay for at least 3 of the last 4 years for March Madness. So, I mean, if you're paying attention, you know who Ron Hunter is because he coaches for Georgia State. So great for Georgia State. But Roy Williams is probably just far and away just the class of the thing. I mean, I hate to do it because not only do I hate UNC, I'll just say I think UNC made a big mistake with with the way they litigated their whole issues they had academically and the way it fed through to their athletic program. We can leave that there. All the coaches are part of that. But at the same time, as far as in this bracket, he's got 869 wins, 3 Division I tournament championships. I mean, the guy's won ACC tournaments. The guy's won Big 12 tournaments. So you got to give him his due. He's Coach of the Year twice, AP Coach of the Year twice, 2-time ACC Coach of the Year, 3-time Big 12 Coach of the Year. Before it was Big 12, he was a 4-time Big 8 Coach of the Year. So I'm gonna go Roy there. I don't know if you feel strongly against that.
That's
only
the
one-
obvious choice.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess when you look at him, he's probably the obvious choice. But he's got, I mean, Calipari and Bill Self are, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
you got some good ones there too, man. I mean, they're all 3 of those guys are Hall of Famers. They've all won national championships. But I mean, yeah, Roy Williams would probably be the cream of the crop.
3
But
out of 4.
That crop is deep in that region.
3 out of 4 of our best coaches are ACC coaches.
It's the WCAC of college basketball.
It's feeling like that. Let's go with my best player. Now I'm gonna give you guys. Listen, I could go Kobe. I could go. I had a little bit of a list here of guys. You could go PJ if you wanted to over Kentucky. PJ Washington. And even Corey Davis, but and Kansas has been missing some key cogs.
Yes,
But Dedrick Lawson is a player. But for me, I'm going with Fletcher McGee. I mean, how else? And I, you know what? And I'm going to write it on the whiteboard, and it can look ridiculous years and years down the road. But the guy shoots the lights out, and he's coming into this tournament hot. And that's what this tournament's all about. I mean, this guy is a scorer. He's a shooter. He shoots it from deep.
He's definitely a shooter.
That's why I know you would love it.
Definitely
Incredible
a
shooter. But Ken Massey, he's like the 4th best white dude. Like
Yeah,
this is
Ken,
it's bad.
I got you with the shooter, but knock it off.
Knock it all the way.
Wofford, the
entirely
pride
off,
of
man.
Wofford. When you see this bracket,
He's going for the record.
He's
Okay.
on my all name team.
so
for sure.
let me tell you guys something about what Midwest bracket. I think this is wide
Unbelievable,
open.
man.
UNC is going to figure out a way to screw this up, Juice. They should come out of this bracket. This
Juice, why
bracket
you looking at
should
him
be
like that?
owned by the Tar Heels, and it won't be. It won't be. And I'm telling you, my biggest upset is, in fact, the number 7 Wofford team, but it comes later because I think Wofford, I'm talking about 7-2, Wofford over Kentucky. I like Wofford to shoot the lights out against Kentucky. I see Kentucky tighten up every year in March. They lose to teams they shouldn't lose to all the time in March. And if they get down, we've seen them hang their heads. That program is famous
Hey, Juice,
for
close
pouting.
your mouth, man.
That program is famous for mailing it in when they go down to a team that shoots the lights out, and it's going to be Wofford over Kentucky, 7-2 in the
Ken,
second
you
round.
got a point. You got a
No,
point.
he doesn't, man. He doesn't have a point.
Listen,
Stop hyping him.
no, if you go conventional with your brackets, you lose. So
I'm hawking you up. I got you. You're not gonna
Nah,
like.
but he says
if
they
you don't like
lose,
Wofford,
they
it's my biggest
always- they
upset.
al-
Ken is the one guy in your office pool that picks that game or set of games that nobody else picks, and he's like this.
I'm with you on that.
I mean, like he might get one right, but Wofford over Kentucky.
Wofford over
Hey,
Kentucky.
Juice, all Carolina's better than Fletcher McGee. They're starting five and their first guy off the bench.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just one.
But you know
I'm
what's
just talking about
funny?
one other
But, hey,
team.
but you know how Ken gets. Ken gets fixated on
Yes,
something.
he does.
And and that's what he does. He gets really fixated.
Hold
man.
on,
He
hold on, hold
does.
on.
He gets
Now,
excited
he's got,
about something.
wait, you've got that last
Hyper-focused.
column
You got it
down there.
right.
Let me
Who's
tell you
coming
about
out? If he
the
says
Terriers.
Wofford,
Let me tell you about the Terriers. Not only were they 18-0 in the Southern Conference and entered the 2019 NCAA tournament right in the nation's longest winning streak. They've won 20 in a row, and they've been ranked nationally for the first time by the
Cam
AP.
Jackson's their best player. Cam Jackson.
Fletcher McGee.
Cam Jackson is
You
their
heard it
best
here.
player. Fletcher McGee's the shooter.
He's not the
Cam
best-
Jackson does the rest.
He is not their best
There's a lot
player
of
in
other
this
stuff to
tournament.
do.
You just wait and see what kind of numbers Fletcher McGee puts up.
I
in
know
this
he's
tournament.
gonna break a 3-point record. I think
Yes,
it's
he
like
is.
yeah.
yes,
I think if he
You
breaks
would
it with
know
his
that.
first two
You
or
keep
three.
an eye on that one, aren't you?
my
Darren,
gosh.
I think it's to the first round.
Wow.
And if he makes the first in two
Fletcher
against Seton Hall.
McGee.
Also, all of Kentucky is better than Fletcher McGee. I'm just going down the seeding thing. I hope you guys don't mind.
Oh
but-
my goodness.
All
You
of
just-
Kansas.
Come on,
is
you're
better.
gonna have Fletcher McGee. Everyone's gonna say Kobe Wright or PJ Washington. I'm gonna give you Fletcher McGee. No, you're not getting that
He's got
anywhere
the
else.
37th best player in the region. but go ahead. Now, who you got
Who's
coming
your
out?
Champ? Who's your champ?
I'm going Houston. I'm gonna give the 30+ win team.
I'm not mad at you.
I'm gonna say they are gonna. Okay, so my belief is that I think we all see eye to eye. Maybe we don't all agree on
No, we
FSU,
don't. No, we
but
don't.
in the Midwest, I think it's wide open. I think someone is going to win it that no one's thinking. I don't think it's going to be UNC. I don't think it's chalk in the Midwest. And if someone's going to I think if you're going to bet on a chance, the 31-3 Houston team, I think they're hot. They're confident. They're not reliant. I mean, they obviously they're not all seniors, but they do have some upperclassmen. And I think that if you're looking for somebody and you don't want to go chalk in the Midwest, I think Houston at number 3 has an absolute chance to come out of this
play
region.
fast.
I'm gonna
and
tell you. Let me
athletic,
tell
man.
you this. Let me tell you this, man. Do you know what Virginia, Carolina, and Duke? You know what their advantage is?
What's
They
that?
played against each other.
Mm-hmm.
They are the number 1, 2, and 3 ranked teams in the country. Okay, so all these
I
other
hear a little
teams,
ACC bias.
all
over
these
here.
no, all these. When's the last time that's happened? When's the last time the top 3 teams in the country
I don't
came
know
from
when
the
that's
same
ever happened.
conference?
It's,
Has
it's,
that
it's
ever
called
happened?
never.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
never
think-
happened,
I don't
has
think
it?
No, this is
All
the
right.
first.
This is the first time.
Yeah. It's not like WCAC or the top 5 are
Right.
all
So
WCAC
so
teams,
with that being
you
said,
said earlier.
they're not going to meet until Virginia, Carolina will meet in the Final Four. Duke will probably hit one of those teams in the championship game. But I think it's just a run for those teams just to say, all right, man, we get another shot at these guys. I think they'll run right through these brackets. I really believe that. I think they're going to run right through, and then somebody down there in the West is going to have the unfortunate task of trying to beat Duke. And I think it's going to be Virginia, Carolina, Duke, and Gonzaga in the Final Four. And I just think there's no way. I think it's so much. Those 3 teams are much better than everybody else.
I
That's
have
just
an
how I feel.
all ACC Final Four.
Yes, you do.
North Carolina, Virginia, Duke,
Florida State.
Florida State.
Yeah. And I
Do you
wouldn't
think
be
Florida
surprised- I
State
wouldn't be-
slips into the finals, or do they get knocked out in the Final Four?
My finals. Are we going there?
Yeah,
yet?
let's do that.
Okay,
Let's
my-
do
Let me
finals.
run off real quick. I got to get mine
Your
in.
Final
You gotta
Four?
get
Well,
mine- you gotta get
everyone.
my Carolina in.
Oh, sorry.
I haven't hit up my. I got 2 sentences. You guys watched the game. There was a sequence in the game against Carolina. I'm a Duke fan, where Zion went baseline and his crazy-bodied ass, double-handed, barely dunked and fell on his back.
Oh, it was awesome.
The ball got thrown in by North Carolina
And
over
he-
half court.
2
It was
seconds.
pass, dunk in 2 seconds.
Seconds.
And it was the first glimpse of the ACC that I remember, the ACC that you played in.
Yes, yes.
North Carolina, when you say play fast, I'm sorry, but I've seen these guys all year long for Duke. I've seen the most athletic. The Condor I've been told about for 3 years is the captain of the team.
Yes.
I mean, Javin DeLaurier, his athleticism is freakish. These guys, Carolina put it on them, stepped on the gas pedal, and made them look slow.
Yeah.
after one of the highlights of the year.
Yeah.
And I went, this might be old school ACC style. And I took them both up there on that pedestal.
I think-
Kobe White and them, UNC,
Yeah.
and then Luke May gets it done somehow, some way. Don't look pretty, but
Absolutely.
he does work.
Yep.
They're
a bad
ridiculous.
man.
All right.
So
So
you're-
what I'm looking at here.
So go ahead. What's your
All right,
final?
my final is Duke versus Virginia.
Winner?
Duke.
Juice?
I got Duke, Carolina.
Winner?
Duke.
No. I'm nothing.
I'm I'm gonna say Duke, man, but I say that with a real. I'm not too loud with it. Carolina, I think, is the most complete team in the tournament. I do.
They're awesome,
I think
man.
Duke is the most talented,
Yep.
but I think Carolina is the most complete team. They have a great point guard. They have shooters. They have a ridiculous freshman. They have a heady senior who's. I mean, they have a complete team. They're the best. They run the floor the best. They're the best in transition. And if it wasn't for Zion Williamson just being ridiculous that last play when he scored, Carolina would beat them 3 times. But I'm gonna say Duke, man. But damn, that's close for me. I think Carolina is, man.
What you got, Rick?
I can't get off Duke UNC. You guys know the reasons for all of it. I think Duke takes it down at the end, and but it'll be the first time Duke and Carolina have ever played in the tournament. You know that? That's crazy,
In the
right?
tournament alone, let alone the finals, the tournament.
In the tournament.
Wow.
Those two have never gone up against each
Wow.
other. Talk about they
hope that happens.
were saying
That
you
would be
heard it.
awesome.
Billis said the ultimate trump card, and that makes sense. I'm with that. It would be. Both fan bases will be historically scared of what would happen upon losing. Like
You're right.
it's gonna be that would be so sick.
I
It's
think
never
gonna happen,
happened,
man.
and
I
that's
think
what I'm
it's gonna
picking.
happen. I think
All
it's
right.
gonna
And if
happen.
that's going
Ken,
down,
who you
I'm
got?
taking my guys.
I mean, I don't know how you guys are missing the Gonzaga Tennessee final that we have coming our way on April 8th from Minneapolis, but I do think Gonzaga wins it. I think this is Gonzaga. I think this is a tournament that is tailor made for Gonzaga. I do. I think they got what it takes to win. I think they got what it takes to win all the way through.
Okay.
They have played the top teams, and I just think that I think they're good enough. And I just like we said before, I think the heavyweight top heaviness is kind of spread out at the top of this tournament. Of course, Duke is, but you don't have to beat Duke if you're Gonzaga. You don't have to beat them till the Final Four. You might not have to beat North Carolina at all, since Houston's coming out of there, and then Tennessee takes care of business against UVA. I think Gonzaga. Some people paved the way, and I think Gonzaga makes this their tournament. There you go.
Dark horse.
And by the way, everyone is the heaviest favorite in probably in 6 years, 5 or 6 years, is Duke. I believe from an odds standpoint, I don't think there's been a heavier favorite since the 2014-2015 Kentucky Wildcats.
That's dumb.
I know,
by the
but-
way. That's
but-
dumb. That's to get people to bet on Duke. That's no longer
right.
fair at this point.
So if you're filling out
the end of
brackets,
the tournament odds are different than
you're gonna-
game by game.
you're playing against a lot of Duke winners. Now, if you just want to, if it's just going to happen, then you got to pick Duke. But if you want a chance to maybe differentiate your bracket just a teeny tiny bit and take advantage of a big
Trying to tell you,
situation,
that Carolina team, man. I'm telling you, that is.
and that that could be the answer.
Cam
to
Johnson,
telling
Kobe
you.
White,
Yeah, Kobe White's
They are
Blake,
good,
Harrison
man.
Brooks.
They are really good. They are good.
Kendall,
Nazir comes off the bench.
Before we
Yeah,
get to
okay,
our give me
okay.
your 5,
Please give it to me.
give me your 5 is what, the top 5 players
Yeah.
in your region?
Top 5 players, I think. Let's do our all tournament team.
All tournament team. Woo.
All tournament team. Everyone gets to put a guy in, and I'm not allowed to say Fletcher McGee.
Okay, before we get to that, and
I think you should.
I think I probably should, but I won't.
I think Fletcher Cox
On the
is gonna be
air.
better champion than man.
on the air, as you all know, I'm always talking
So many
about
Fletchers.
butter popcorn.
Yep.
I was that kind of player.
My wife and kids know butter popcorn, by the way.
They know
Thank you.
butter popcorn.
Yes,
It's
very well.
And this time of year is when butter popcorn players really stand out.
Yep.
They come to play. The lights are so bright. You got your one shining moment. You
That's
got
right.
give me, and I'll start with my region.
Yep.
Your butter popcorn game. Okay, mine is obvious. It's the Murray State Marquette game. It's the
Yep.
12-5 game. It's the first round. And that is must-see TV, in my opinion. You've got two different type of dynamic point guards going against each other, but they are both pro-type PGs.
Yep.
John Moran is the incredible athlete, long, wiry, up and down, takes it to the rim better than he shoots it from outside right now, but that'll be determined when he gets into the league. But and then you have the dynamic of Marcus Howard, who has multiple 50-point performances in his career. Back in December, he scored 40 in the first half, and he's just an incredible scorer.
Yeah.
I don't want to say Steph
Love.
Curry or Dame Lillard yet. I don't want to put him on that level, but he really knows how to fill it up, and that's a game where you'll be at the edge of your seats watching two point guards, two different types of dynamic point guards go at it. That's my butter popcorn game in the West.
Midwest is easy. It's 7-2, Wofford, Kentucky. If Wofford is going to win that game, it's going to be because it will be must-see television because they will be shooting the lights out. Kentucky will be taking timeouts, trying to slow them down, and Fletcher McGee will be going nuts. But if to me, that's the game. If it's going to be great, it's going to be great for that reason.
And there used to be a movie called Fletch.
Oh yeah, Fletch.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother Joe is all over that movie. That's his movie. What
T. Stratton always says, "Love your body, Larry."
Knock it off.
What do you got?
You just absolutely just knock it off.
What's your butter popcorn game, Juice?
Duke, Michigan State.
Duke,
In the Elite
Michigan
Eight.
State.
In the Elite Eight.
Elite Eight.
That's two of the best coaches.
Yep.
I would like. I'll be interested to see Cassius Winston go up against Trey Jones. I would love to see that matchup. That would be a great matchup.
Physical.
It will be.
Trey Jones is a great defender.
Yeah, he is, and he's going against probably the best point guard, definitely in the Big Ten. Yeah, I would. That was be my butter.
Okay.
popcorn
All
game.
right. What do you got, Kev?
Michigan State.
Man, mine's a different call on this. You're going to need your butter popcorn, and it's going to be crunch time, but it's also going to be your third cup of butter popcorn, your third big old barrel of it, because
Absolutely.
Virginia, Wisconsin is going to put your fanship to a test. It's going to be a different brand of basketball than everyone is looking forward to on the rating system as far as television goes.
28, 27 type
it's
game?
a purist.
Like a
yes.
football score?
Exactly. It's a baseball purist 1-0 or a defensive purist like shutout 10-0 in a playoff football game. It's Ethan Happ's going to get the ball about 20 seconds into the shot clock, either kick it out for something or do work. You got Ty Jerome trying to make shots at the buzzer every chance he gets at the end of a shot clock. Man, with the Bennett connection to Wisconsin, I mean, they might as well put boxing gloves on.
You're
That
right.
might be the only game where you're not going to have a lot of brothers on the court.
Yeah, I know.
You're going to have a lot of brothers on the court in that Virginia-Wisconsin game.
But no Fletcher McGee.
No Fletcher McGee. Big mistake. Big mistake. Letting him slip to
The
Wofford.
11th best white guy in the bracket. But there he is.
He's on the board.
He's on the board.
He's on the
He's
board.
There ain't gonna be too many brothers out there though, but that's gonna be a nice game. It'll be a very, very entertaining game to watch.
All right, let's finish out with give me your fives and let's do a pre-tournament all-tournament team. You know what? I'm just gonna do the easy work. I'm just gonna say Zion and kick it to Juice. Everyone gets to pick a guy.
How you gonna pick my guy, man?
Well, I'm just giving you. I'm taking the
you
easy
gonna
ones.
go
So you
first?
guys get to make
Get
good.
somebody out of you. Fletcher?
Right, take somebody at your region,
You
man.
got to get somebody out of
No.
your region.
I'm not taking anyone out of my region.
Yeah, just take.
Sorry.
I want to give you a chance to take some. I would like to take the
right,
Ramahuchi
go
guy
ahead.
from Gonzaga. Is it Ramahatsky?
Rui
Hotsky.
I think it's Ramahatsky.
Hachimura.
Hachimura. Fine, give me Hachimura. 'Cause I got him
Japanese
winning the
brother.
whole damn thing, so it's
Japanese
Hachimura.
brother.
Bam.
Yes.
There you go. First team.
I'll go RJ Barrett.
That's solid.
Listen, man, in 2015, Tyus Stones Jones got the nickname in the Final Four, won the MVP. Young Trey might be, he might be little Froghorn Stones Jones. You know what I mean?
No, he
that's
had a
that's big
hell
shoes to
of a
He had
fill.
a great
ACC
final. He had a
tournament.
great
But
final.
that's what they do. That's how
He
the
had a
big
great
brother got the
ACC
nickname.
final, man.
The shot he hit against
I
Wisconsin
love his
ended.
game.
That's
I
how.
love his
If you
game.
get a nickname hitting a three as a freshman in a national championship, and they call you Stones,
Right.
like you wear that.
Hell
for
yes.
eternity. Yeah,
That's
well,
tattoos. That's rings. That's
Hey,
like necklaces.
little
it's
brother,
everything.
little brother's
A
pulling up.
car engraved.
Little brother's pulling up in a wheelbarrow with these things hanging in there right now.
Yes.
He's ready.
So we got
All right.
3
He's
Duke
ready.
players.
Yeah. Now,
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't. I succumbed. I went Ramahatsky instead of Zion. Ramahuji.
So you would have gone to
Okay.
Zion. I'm sticking with Stones.
Okay.
So
all right.
can a guy get in if he only lasts to the round of 32? Can he get in this?
He better have a damn good first game.
John Morant.
Ja Morant. I don't think that's ever happened.
He needs to put up 60 points.
No,
in
it's
2
it's
games,
it's specifically a Final Four award. No one else is eligible.
no. So you got to
For the most outstanding player. You know I'm a freak about this. I told you.
come
I'll
on.
go
You
back
are,
to.
but for the purposes of this,
top 5 players
but you can
in this tournament.
You can.
Oh,
You
I
can
thought
do
it was the all tournament.
It's
team.
the all tournament team, but we're gonna.
Okay,
we're
Our
gonna-
okay,
Top
our
five players.
our alternate.
Yeah,
top
our
five.
alternate
Okay, all right,
team.
go ahead, Dan.
John Morant's
Ja
a bad.
Morant.
John Morant.
There you
John
go.
Morant.
All right, so that does leave Zion as the potential 5th consensus pick from the table, or we can go somewhere else. I think it's probably Zion.
Absolutely.
I mean, Zion rounds out that pretty
Yes,
pretty
I would-
well.
I would imagine so. But Kevin would
No,
have
don't get
taken
away from your
Zion.
man. That's your man. Get your man in there.
Fletcher
Stop.
McGee?
Get your man in there.
He's gonna challenge. He will challenge. Only takes one good day. Hey, ask this guy on my right.
On the fence though, y'all got any honorable mentions? Y'all have any on the
He's not
fence
going to
players?
challenge shit.
Who's he gonna
Not shit.
challenge? Who's he gonna challenge?
Not shit.
It's, you know, we're gonna. When is that? When does Fletcher take the field?
Do y'all
What
do
we
you
got
guys
here?
have any guys that are on the fence?
March 21st.
Fletcher's going to catch 40 in round 1, and I'm going to
9:40
I'm going
PM.
to have to throw my phone in the
This is
pond.
gonna be the first Wofford Seton
What's
Hall
up?
game
What'd
I've
you
ever
say there?
watched.
Do y'all have anybody on the fence that could possibly make this?
Kobe White.
Kobe White for sure. Cam
Kobe
Johnson.
White, Cam Johnson.
Oh, Luke May. Luke May. We do the points, rebounds, assist pool I was telling you about. Luke May crushes.
Texas Tech has a do-it-all wing guard. Jared Culver
He's
is
nasty.
yes,
Yeah.
he's nasty. He didn't play last year as a freshman. This year, his sophomore year, he's really. They're projecting him as a top 10 pick. A lot of people are projecting him as a top 10 pick, and he does it all for Texas Tech.
Cincinnati, Jaron Cumberland. You seen him play?
Yes,
It's ridiculous.
yes.
Get
Your boy
used-
Rui, I know we got him.
Here, let's
I love
get used
him.
to hearing this. While Fletcher McGee is
You
just
know
rearing back for
what's
a
a good
deep
thing,
kick.
guys?
Man, there's nothing better than this stone, man. There's nothing better.
It's the
than this,
greatest.
bro. There's nothing better than
The
this.
man. I mean, I could belt that for you, but I won't.
The good thing about this, you can set your DVR to TBS, TNT, True TV,
True TV, Channel 9.
and
Yeah.
CBS.
Yep.
Yeah.
Channel 9.
Get out your iPads, get out your phones. You
That's
gotta
what
be
you
working
know.
all the
That's what you
screens.
know,
Channel
Paul. Yeah,
9,
Channel
man.
9, man.
Just get out all your devices. Every device can play a game. Make sure you got a game on every device.
You don't have to miss it. When I played in '94, we played Florida in the first round. You got about 75 or 80% of my game.
Yeah.
Well-
They're like, and now we're going away from
Right.
the
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
But now you get to
Get
see
every
it all.
single one,
It's-
man.
There you go.
and it's great.
I think
And
I
what
watched the end of your game in Braille, actually, that year. It was amazing. It was amazing. You're right, though. They just like
Right.
switch.
They just switch.
Yeah, remember they had the split TV,
Right.
the split,
Just little
split
miscellaneous.
screen.
Now you got 5 channels.
And
was
the
up
NBA
I
on
was hitting
TNT.
jumpers. I was up in the right corner.
The NBA crew from TNT,
Ball
Charles
out
and
that game
Kenny
too,
and
man.
Ernie.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing
Charles
addition.
don't need to be doing this, man. He don't know nobody's name.
It doesn't matter. It's great. Everything they do, those
43.
guys doing.
He says
Has that been better?
43. 43 is a player now.
There's no time like this.
It's the best.
This
This
is
is
the
fun,
best.
man.
Oh,
This
it
a
is.
lot
I
of
agree.
fun, man.
Shaq bragging on him for not knowing anything, you know, and
Yeah.
then they go to. Yeah, it's
That's
awesome.
because Shaq doesn't know.
No, I know. And then they want to
know.
fight each other about it.
They
It's the
make
best.
it work, don't they?
Right.
Dude,
Oh, they're gonna
it's the
butcher
greatest.
some names. They are
Oh, they're
definitely
terrible,
gonna butcher
man.
some
Kenny's
names.
the only one who knows. Kenny and Clark and
Ernie.
Clark Kellogg. Those are
Clark,
the only
yeah.
ones. Clark
Kellogg's
knows.
awesome.
He's awesome. Kenny's gonna know.
Kenny,
You know what I mean?
Did
Yeah.
Jay Murray? No, it's John Morant. Jay Murray he gonna give it to him. Oh.
Man, that guy's got a mother, and who named him something entirely different than what you
Right,
just said.
Right.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
This is gonna be a lot of fun, man.
We'll be back here
There's
next Tuesday
nothing
night.
better for the next couple.
We're gonna
next 3
update
weeks.
it.
We're
We'll
gonna
be
cover-
at the Sweet 16 time.
Yeah, well, we'll be in the Sweet 16. We'll have something fun. Maybe we'll do something Sweet 16 related.
All right.
As the Globetrotters sing us out, he's Kevin Ricka.
I was so happy to be here and run this back, man. Can't wait for the next 3 weeks. Listen, I've always worked. I don't know what I'm going to do. You guys have seen it. I've been there. There's 4 TVs
that's
behind
right,
me.
yeah.
And I'm just having at it. You guys are
Right.
telling me what's going on.
Yeah.
Now,
Now you get to sit back and watch it.
I'm
man.
going to
Turn
lock myself
around
in the
and look at
basement with a
somebody
lot of
else working.
Gatorade and a lot of snacks.
Yep.
And I'm not moving.
Yeah,
I
man.
can't wait to do nothing for
Yeah,
this.
it's gonna be fun, man.
the
I
best.
can't wait.
Big brother,
Hey, man, this is fun. I'm jealous because I never played in this damn tournament, man. I've never played in
that hurts me.
This guy across the table, man, played, and he's got that on me, man. But this is so much fun. This is the best time of year, man. If you're if you like sports, this is the best time. Whether or not you like college basketball or not, this is a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
Froghorn.
Like he said, I can remember back to 1994 when we got the chance to march, and there's no better feeling for a college basketball player than to play in this tournament. So good health and good luck to all these guys.
Yeah.
And we're in for.
You were also in the
great
three-point contest for that year, I believe. Wasn't-
Absolutely.
For the
Lost to Steve Nash. Who
Canadian.
better than
Come
lose
on,
to,
man.
though?
Canadian.
I
We already talked
fatigue.
about
He
that.
Not
just
a
tired at
fatigue.
the end. He got off to a great start.
He did.
He
Yeah, I got
the
to that
first
fourth
two-
rack.
The first 2 or 3 racks he was on, and then that fourth rack, he just because Darren's a jump shooter. Darren doesn't shoot set shots, so Darren actually was shooting jump shots. And
I was
you could
elevating
tell-
on every one of them.
Right.
Got to that fourth rack.
Yeah.
Somebody jumped on my back.
Canadian reclass.
And Steve Nash was just grabbing it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
grabbing it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You took the Terps down.
Yeah, but those were great memories, man. Great memories.
So it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be
Good
a lot
luck
of
to all
fun.
the athletes out there, man.
We look forward to being back in a week from now. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight for Bracketology Season 2. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, and this was...
The hot box.
Appreciate you.
Good
Still
night.
live. Still live.
I need a basketball to spin on my finger when I play this.